Well, I've done a similar exercise, in fact, in the Middle East itself, in Cairo, where we had translators working from English to Arabic and Arabic to English, and that was actually structured in very much the same way. So I'm not actually sure that the summer school is totally unique, but of course I think the BCLT summer school really provided a model for the Cairo one. I mean, what distinguishes it from that is, of course, we've got several different languages here going on at the same time, which gives it, I think, a different feel, because there's a lot of interaction of one sort and another. These sort of joint sessions and discussions where you get all the workshop leaders coming together and all the authors coming together and exchanging experience, which is really interesting. Well, both the students here are really starting on the ladder of translating literature, so I think it's a very valuable opportunity for them. Neither of them has any published work so far, so hopefully this will give them a bit of a push. I think a very welcome sort of antidote to the usual sort of translation process, which is rather a question of shutting oneself in one's room and getting on with it. So to have some sort of interaction with other people who are doing the same thing, I think is a very valuable experience, and yeah, absolutely to be welcomed. You can tackle it in several ways. I mean, there's the physical process and how one does it, and everybody does it slightly differently, I guess. I do it in 3 stages. I do a rough draft first, and then I do a tidying up exercise, which is the second stage, is the longest one, the way I work, and then there's a final polish. I mean, the summer school's a bit different, because if you're translating a whole work on your own, you've got a very lengthy, chunk of material, several hundred pages possibly, to deal with. And whereas discussing everything and analysing everything in such minute detail as we're doing this week, obviously we only get through a few pages. You'd never make a living out of it if you worked at this pace. Yes, I think you do. You're sounding off other people, exactly. Yes, that's very beneficial. And it also sharpens your own approach, I think. So when you go back and do your next, proper translation job in the real world, I'm sure I find I've usually got something out of it. Well, that will vary from language to language, and also, of course, what sort of translation you want to do. Literary translation from Arabic is a very small sort of field, and the number of people that really learn a living from that exclusively is very small indeed. I mean, there are ways of going about it if you want to start. I mean, I think you need to get some small things published in a magazine like Banipal or something like that first. So you build up a sort of portfolio that you can show around, and then hopefully get some larger commissions. But you'll certainly need to be doing something else at the same time to get some money. The language, getting it right. It's English and Arabic are not very close together linguistically, and there's a sort of space between the two that you've got to negotiate somehow, and it's always a challenging business. You can't take it for granted. Even the most straightforward texts, or things that look quite straightforward when you look at them for the first time, sometimes turn out actually to be pretty tricky.